As we enter 2025 and pledge New Year's resolutions, nature may also take a hint to cause a change in various volcanoes this year, creating brand new volcanic eruptions. Thus, since it is the first day of 2025, you might wonder which volcanoes could theoretically erupt in the brand new year which are not erupting at the present. Before I unveil my list of 5 volcanoes which could erupt in 2025, I want to note a disclaimer. This list is largely opinion-based, so do not take my entries on this list as fact, especially since not every volcano mentioned in my prior 2 videos ended up erupting. Predicting which volcanoes may erupt in the long term is near impossible. What I discuss are merely educated guesses, with 7 of 15 volcanoes I mentioned might erupt in 2022, 2023, and 2024 ending up erupting. So, let's get started. For the second year in a row, and yes, I know Reykjanes volcanoes, the residents of Grindavik do not want to hear this, the adjacent Reykjanes volcano in Iceland is the most likely complex to erupt in 2025. I say this for multiple reasons. Ever since late October of 2023, magma has been recharging a 5-kilometer depth magma chamber about 1,100 meters south of Svartsengi geothermal power plant, which once filled, has fed multiple magmatic intrusions. These intrusions are termed magma run events, marked by numerous earthquakes, with 9 such events triggering 7 eruptions, including 6 eruptions during 2024. Now, it is absolutely true that a lower and lower magma supply to this magma chamber has resulted in eruptions occurring progressively further apart, going from 28 to 91 days between the first 2 and last 2 eruptions. Despite this fact, the magma influx is still occurring at a high enough rate that there is no reason to not expect at least 1, possibly 2, 3, or even 4 more eruptions during 2025. In other words, the same magma plumbing which fed eruption in 2024 still exists and is likely to cause more similar activity. The good news, however, is that magma has seemingly found a preferential point away from the town of Grindavik that makes it less likely for an eruption to occur near or inside the town. Etna sticking within Europe, but heading 3,800 kilometers to the southeast, Italy's Mount Etna volcano, in my opinion, has a decent chance of erupting within 2025. Despite the impressive cinder cone constructed during 2024, it seems, based on my estimation, that overall Etna erupted significantly less material in 2024 than it averaged in prior years. While this statement is of course absolutely not hard science, statistically speaking, I would expect Mount Etna to erupt a larger volume of lava than it did in 2024. Besides, since 1971, Mount Etna erupted less in 2024 than it did in prior years. Etna also has not gone longer than 9 months without an eruptive episode since 1966. And, with it today only being a little less than 2 months since its last eruption ceased, it is likely to erupt again in 2025. Heading over to India's Barren Island volcano, I want to note that this scenic volcanic island, Barren Island, has not erupted since late May of 2024. And, since it reactivated after a more than century-long period of inactivity in 1991, it has only erupted in 19 of 34 years. However, my basis for including Barren Island on this list is satellite infrared data. It seemingly suggests a rising temperature across the last several weeks at its summit fumaroles, which could indicate that shallow magma is present and possibly rising. In Indonesia, while Krakatau has been fairly quiet Krakatau lately, 2024 saw multiple episodes of pronounced ground deformation on its edifice occur. This volcano has also seen an overall increase in its rate of volcanic earthquakes during the latter half of 2024, and a day before 2024 ended, Krakatau produced its strongest seismic unrest of the year, with 54 harmonic tremor events indicating the presence of shallow magma. Slomit also in Indonesia, the towering Slomit volcano has been experiencing progressively increasing gas emissions, daily volcanic earthquakes, and background tremor during the last month. As a result, it may very well end up producing an eruption sometimes during the first 2 months of 2025. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube.